Hello, everybody. And as we're getting into the last 24 hours of our campaign this year, I wanted to send out one final update before things finish to talk about the dyed color that we're going to do on the dark chocolate yak wool, a little bit of a follow-up about the hand-dyed black, and some storytelling about the last time that I went to the countryside and visited the yak herders. But I guess first off, thank you, everybody, for joining the campaign. If you're new to the campaign or just signed up within the last week or so, please do check out the previous updates that I've sent out. There are, well, updates, I guess, about the process, the progress of the campaign already, and maybe some small things, small changes, and what to expect after the campaign is over. But it's been a great result so far this year. I'm very happy about how everything turned out and very excited about the soon to be happening production. It looks like all of our cashmere is actually in UB, already been washed and waiting for dehairing. And then our yak wool and camel wool are going to be washed and dehaired either end of this month or into August. So as the campaign comes to an end, a lot of things are going to start happening. But I guess first, there's going to be about a 2-week period of downtime. And after the campaign ends, there's 2 weeks. And in that time, I'm going to set up backer kits. And then after 2 weeks, you guys will all get invited to your own accounts on BackerKit. And BackerKit is where you're going to select your yarn colors, your yarn weights, add on any other items that you would like to. Kickstarter only allows us to back one reward. So in BackerKit, you'll be able to add on as much as you'd like. And that's also where you'll add your shipping address, or later if you need to change things there as well. But it'll be very simple for those that haven't gone through it before. You'll get an invite, you go on there, and you'll just click through things and answer questions about what you'd like. Very similar to any other type of online store. So that will be 2 weeks after the campaign ends, and that will be the next time that you guys hear from me. BackerKit is always a fun time, but also the difficult time when you have to actually choose your colors and your options. Some say the most difficult part of the campaign. But other than that, everything is still on track, going smoothly. But something I did want to talk about is our hand-dyed black. I've been doing a lot more experimenting and getting more familiar and comfortable with dyeing larger amounts of skeins together and seeing how everything is going to come out. I'm getting quite consistent with results. However, I do kind of want to manage expectations slightly here. They are all going to be hand-dyed in my apartment by me, 400 grams by 400 grams. And so I still would expect some inconsistencies, not only between batches, but even within batches. There could be some areas of slight shadowing. Maybe it won't be a perfect, consistent dark black. I just want to say this because if you're planning to do a larger project, maybe a sweater or a larger item with multiple skeins, it might be a little bit ambitious if you're planning a perfect match throughout. A couple of pictures here, and I guess some examples. But I did a batch with some cashmere, some camel wool, and some sheep wool. And one of the skeins had a slight amount of shadowing to it. I got, try to get this in the lighting, maybe so I can get better. But it has a slight amount of shadowing to it. Like very, very slight. Although if you were doing with, I think in one piece and a hat, or a one skein item, it's going to look fine. You're really not going to notice it. Maybe a little bit of a vintage look, but if you put 4 or 5 skeins together, you might start to tell a little bit of a difference. I know I got some cell phone camera shots where you could see kind of on the one skein, there's this one area where it's a little bit lighter. And then this is, what it's going to look like in the swatch. So still dark, and I think still acceptable. But I just kind of want to manage expectations slightly here. If you're expecting to have the hand-dyed yarn be a perfect match skein to skein, try to, that might have a little bit of a vintage look to it. Comparatively, this was the other very streaky skein that I had made before. And compared to, what I think is acceptable, it's a very big difference, but still, it's not perfect. So please keep that in mind with the hand dyed. It's hand dyed, so there is going to be a little bit of variation between the skeins. But and also for those, it's going to be available in DK and fingering weight for all of the different base fibers. So vanilla cashmere, the dark reddish brown camel wool, the milk chocolate yak wool, and then the stone fleece base as well for the sheep and yak wool blend. So that's what we're going to be dyeing on top of for the black. And so, yeah, that being said, the next thing I wanted to mention is the results of our dark chocolate yak survey. The dyeing that we're going to do over the brown base. And the results are back, and we're going to be doing a blue. And so I'm excited about this. It is going to be very dark, and it changes a lot in the different lightings. But we'll see what the base fiber looks like this year. Every year, the base fibers, since they're natural colors, they change a little bit. The shading will change some. So if we get it back and it's very dark, I might blend a little bit of our gray yak wool with it to lighten it up a little bit. Or if it's very light, then we're going to get a little bit more of a blue color coming through with it. So that could also change slightly, but I think it's going to be pretty close to the samples that we have already made. So yeah, that's going to be cool to see how all of that comes out. I'm glad we're doing that this year. The red and the green and the teal were close behind, so at least we know we got some options next year to do some more work with the dark yak wool. And I guess since this update is a little bit shorter compared to the last ones, I did want to go and talk a little bit about the last countryside trip that I went on and visited the herders that we get some of our fiber from. The one family I visited, her name is Nimbu. She's a very nice lady, and she's actually a knitter too. As a gift, I brought some of the hats that I've been making to the countryside to field test them a little bit, and I also had some yarn to take product photos in the countryside, and that was the last stop that we had made. And it's traditional to bring gifts when you're visiting herders, and sometimes I get gifts as well. But as a thank you, I actually gave her one of the hats, the yak wool hats that I'd made, actually with the fiber that came from, I don't know that it exactly came from her animals, but it was that cooperative. So that was kind of cool. And also, she's a knitter. So it was the last stop, and I didn't need the skeins anymore for photos. So she actually ended up with a pretty good collection of yak, camel wool, and cashmere to hopefully do some knitting throughout the years. She's actually pretty cool as well. She's quite famous, or a champion, for her dairy products. Audels, I'll put a picture, but it's kind of like small dried curd. It's a very common food in the countryside, and in the summer especially, herders, they eat mostly dairy products. So, and that's one of them that's very common. But you can see from the picture, she's very talented and goes with competitions and wins medals and things like that for her dairy products. So, a very interesting and very beautiful products. But something that I learned on this trip is this year, she and her husband, they actually didn't brush their yaks or sell their yak wool. And apparently this is a somewhat common occurrence in Mongolia, because yaks are bigger, they're more difficult to brush compared to goats, and it's more energy. The price is lower, so sometimes I guess the juice really isn't worth the squeeze for a lot of herders. And this is also maybe there not being a ton of demand, so there aren't a lot of orders for it. Another reason that having good cooperatives is very important, because it connects these markets to herders, and also good cooperatives as well. Apparently, there have been some other cooperatives that perhaps they get the fiber and then they don't end up paying the herders for the fiber that they get. So I think yak wool in general, maybe more so than any of the other fibers, is in more need of development in general in Mongolia. And even talking about it this year, it's difficult for the cooperative that I work with. For whatever reason, the pricing isn't as efficient as it is for cashmere and other fibers. Maybe earlier in the year, a price will be lower, and then later after harvest, the prices will go up, and this causes issues in contracts and things like that. Recently, I found out that yak wool prices actually went up. It's not a substantial amount, 10 or 15%, but it's difficult for me to start pre-sales and then the prices change on me at a later date. I mean, this is kind of an issue in Mongolia in general and just being in developing markets, but it's more of an issue for yak wool in general. But as a solution to this, I would assume in the next years, I'm just going to start offering my buy price as 20% higher or 25% higher, just to be sure that we can procure the fiber that we need and make sure that it gives herders the incentive and it's profitable and worthwhile for them to do. So, so yeah, yak wool is quite an interesting fiber here, and so I'm interested. You know, and there's a lot of work, I guess, there in development for quality and increasing quantities, and hopefully getting our different color fibers that we need. Maybe time for a different conversation about sustainability in general, which I know is a big topic and kind of difficult to really get into in Mongolia because of how open it is, all the different environments, no fences, nomadic herders. But again, we're getting maybe closer to 12 or 13 minutes, I guess, on this video. So throughout the campaign, it is something that I'm going to include in an update in a video and talk more about sustainability, what it actually means, what it means to me, and how we kind of work towards it here in Mongolia. But I think that's it for this update. And like I said earlier, the next time you're going to hear from me is in 2 weeks, whenever we launch BackerKit and we get to start selecting all of the different beautiful colors and items and adding things on. So thank you again. Questions, comments, concerns, drop me a comment, send me a message. Email is always great as well. But yes, thank you guys.